Yeah.
AfroFinLab, Afrotopers, DeFi, Babylon,
This sixth region in the
Okay.
Akibulan Rising.
And in the end, we actually decided to go with Sixth Region Presents AfroFinLab. So, Sydney, I think you're probably the best person to explain what Sixth Region means, right?
Yeah,
It's actually your suggestion.
I got a long-winded explanation of that for everybody. But yeah, I mean, it was basically just wanting to tie into something that's already happening on the continent. But I'll explain where it came from. So in 1963, the Organization of African Unity was officially inaugurated at a conference in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The purpose of the organization was to promote post-colonial unity and solidarity among African countries. And about 36 years later, in 1999, the heads of state and government of the Organization of African Unity issued a declaration calling for the establishment of the African Union, with the view of accelerating the process of integration within the continent, and then also moving away from kind of post-colonial thought and moving more towards Africa's true destiny, and kind of where the continent and diaspora sees Africa, or sees Africa, and where it should be on the world stage. So in about 3 years later, in 2002, the African Union was officially launched, and it refocused with a refocused vision. African leaders reached a consensus around the idea that in order for Africa to reach its fullest potential, that we really need to focus on growth and economic development. So up until August 2019, there were 5 established regions for the African Union. There was the East, the West, the North, and the South, and also the Central region. And then August 1st, 2019, the Economic Community of States, Territories, and Realms of the African Diaspora, 6th region, was developed. So there is a 6th region with the African Union, and we're going to tie into that 6th region because we're looking to really make a just create this cohesive unit so that we can go to the world not only as the countries on the continent, but also all of us in the diaspora. And that kind of brings me to where we are today with our kind of overarching umbrella, the 6th Region Alliance. The whole idea here is to represent not only Cardano blockchain, but also the spirit of unity, as it kind of represents kind of the genesis of humanity, and also represents an ancient truth that we all that we all seem to resonate with. So, boom, that's where it is right now. It's the 6th Region
Sixth
Alliance
Region. Love
and
this.
AfroFinLab. So make sure you check us out, because we're gonna do big things.
Cool. So
awesome.
we decided to go with the name of AfroFinLab for our podcast. African Finance Laboratory. Afro Finance Laboratory. Because we intend to be building stuff. We're not just going to be here talking about blockchain and how amazing it's going to be. No, we actually want this conversation to be directed towards applicability. So, just to kick that off, Joshua, give us an update on your staking pool. How's it going?
Okay. So my stake pool is almost done. So by tomorrow we should be in Zoe pool. It's called Zoe because it's a Greek word for life. So basically, what I want to be doing is just give people life, and also dispense life basically to people that are in a high situation. So yeah, that's how I got the name.
All right, and just for the viewers or listeners that are just listening to this episode and never listened to the previous one, I suggest you go back and listen to the previous one. But Joshua, could you just explain exactly what a staking pool is and why people might want to stake in the first place?
Okay, so in a nutshell, a stake pool is
All right, sorry to put you on the spot like this examination. We can all explain.
Right.
But Joshua, go ahead.
okay. Let me hold on. I wrote down something.
All right, there you go. But essentially, like a staking pool is another way for you to be able to earn money on your crypto, as opposed to just like keeping your crypto in your wallet and waiting for it to go up in value over time, like how Bitcoin did, or like how Ethereum has done over the past 5 years. You can basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I just want to explain this very simply as well. I'm speaking to a 5-year-old.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, you can take your crypto, put it into your wallet, and it's going to earn an interest for you. Almost like how it did when you used to put it in your bank, like Barclays or Santander or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Except nowadays, the traditional financial system is so effed up that, it's probably going to go into negative interest rates soon. Has it already gone into negative interest rates?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're flirting with it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
This happening. But yeah. And James, like, could you just explain a bit about what Workshop Maybe is? Because I think this ties in very much into the ethos of AfroFinLab.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I love the word laboratory as part of our name so much, because laboratories are not spaces that are colonized, right? They're places that make ideas, that send their good work out into the world. And so it's just so exciting to be sharing ideas among this community right here, but hopefully soon far and wide. So Workshop Maybe is really concerned with blockchain-enabled solutions that might benefit local communities. And whether that community is, the small New England city where I live, or any other town or city across the globe, there's work that we can do and share with each other in every direction, right? Not just from one source of power to satellites across the world, but from anywhere to anywhere. If something works, we want to be able to share that with each other. So a lot more to come on that, but we're getting Workshop Maybe off the ground.
Yeah, and I think that's like one of the key, that's one of the key trends kind of behind this whole movement, the fact that it's open source. It's not a case of like, oh, someone invents something and they can trademark and copyright and prevent other people from using it. But this is something that if I see you're doing something good, I can basically bite it, and it's good for me to buy it from you, because then I can build on it and customize it to what I'm doing. So
and those words, I mean, open source and decentralization go hand in hand, right? And so it's not only, sure, like there might be a financial incentive for me to share my idea with you, but just as much, I want to share my idea with you so that you can take it and do it better, and then come back and say, hey, your idea was pretty good, but check out what I just did with it. And when we have people working together, just raising the bar, we're going to do better.
Exciting stuff. So I think we should just pick up on where we left on the previous episode, with the question of whether decentralization is enough.
Yeah.
So just to give a bit of context, currently in this crypto industry, we could say that the majority of people who own crypto, the people who own the majority of crypto tend to be very technical. So I just raised the question whether we can see that there are positive effects of decentralization. It's harder to corrupt, tends to be a bit more equitable. The problem is currently within the cryptocurrency market, you can't really see that equality. There's still a huge disparity between the whales and the people who are just kind of dabbling in it. And you have people who are able to get ahead in crypto because they are very technocratic. They have these technical skills, and they're able to jump onto these trends. Currently, I can probably count on my hand the number of people who know about crypto and also own some crypto, right? And that's just because it's still like a huge technical barrier to overcome to get involved in crypto currently. Even though there are a number of really good apps, like let's not forget that. Like think about Cash App. Yes, you can buy Bitcoin in Cash App. But in terms of like getting your Bitcoin off of Cash App and being able to invest in the more exciting projects like Cardano, how easy is it? So in short, are we moving towards a technocratic society? Is this what this Bitcoin and decentralization is doing? And if that's the case, how can we prevent that?
Yeah, I'll jump in there. I don't know that we are, you know, and we had this conversation last time we talked about design, and I think it really comes down to I know very few people that know how an engine works. You know, they know how to get in the car, they know how to turn the key forward, and they know how to use the you know, the steering wheel, the accelerator, and the brake to get themselves where they need to go. But they don't really know kind of the technical what happens technically underneath the hood. So I mean, right now, and like you said, it's mostly you know, technical people that are in this space. So you know, we tend to not give design its you know, its due until it's necessary. But I do think that there, I mean, I already see it. I mean, you look at Cardano's wallet, you look at Daedalus, you know, it's you know, it's a fairly easy wallet to use, and it does what it says it's supposed to do. You know, I've used some other wallets that are a lot more difficult to use. So I do think that as we move forward, that things will get a lot easier, and there's going to be people that come into the space that really have no understanding of, you know, the underlying technology of blockchain.
Well, like, I mean, you know, I always have this vision in my head of like crypto influencing the community as big as like something like DJ like deck plates when they first arrived in the 80s, and people taking them and like mixing and making hip hop with it, you know? Like this is the kind of effect I'd like to see blockchain technology have on society. Like it gets to the point where it's so easy to use, people can just like use it like Lego and just make some really cool stuff with it. But I mean, it seems like, you know, the crypto industry is probably around 10 years old now, right? And now we're starting to see some major apps and some major corporations come into the space. I mean, it seems like people are probably more likely to learn about crypto through PayPal or Visa and MasterCard at this point in time. I mean, how do you guys feel about that?
Depends what the messaging is, right? You know, I've been thinking about the word mainstream a lot lately, right? And I think Daedalus is a good example of it. Just looks like mainstream software. It looks like something that people can open up and learn to use. And we could probably go on all day about the different metaphors, right? And I struggle with this all the time when I'm talking to friends or family about, hey, why crypto and why now? And you can use Sidney's automobile metaphor, Tashoma, the deck plates metaphor. I haven't even thought of that one before, but I mean, if crypto was more like deck plates than a car, that'd be pretty nice. But
I meant to say dub plates. I'm so sorry. Deck plates.
But so, I mean, any metaphor that you try to use breaks down eventually, right? And that could be a fun episode, is just analyzing the different metaphors we try to use to describe this thing, right? But it's, if this thing goes mainstream, it's going to be for so much more than just the ability to hold value. It's going to enable people to do things in their day-to-day life that they couldn't do before, right? To participate in their communities in a way that they couldn't before. And it's not a guarantee that it's going to work out that way, right? There's different ways the chips could fall over the next 1 and 2 and 3 years. Some of them end in centralization, right? But the more mainstream it goes, I think the more, and sooner, the more decentralized we're able to keep it. Does that resonate with you guys though? I don't know if I'm seeing it right.
I mean, Yeah, of course it does. It actually does. We can firsthand, we can see the effects of centralization.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I like to say this thing. Africans like 500 years ago, 400 years ago, I'm not sure, they were like in bondage, in chains, right? Sold in chains, and then 500 years later, we have chains now, but it's blockchain this time. So the freedom now is still in chains, right? We can actually. I'm sorry, I like to talk like trans-contextual.
Yeah,
so,
that's good.
so now we still have chains, right? But this time we're not in bondage. This time with this chain to actually shape our community, to actually build that network and connect with more creative people to change the whole situation and narrative of Africa. So the truth is, we see the effect, right? We see the effect. We've seen us done, and we don't like it. So if we can get educated, if we can talk to more people and tell them, hey, we can build this thing from ground up instead of the corrupt power that comes from up down, right? Then they'll get involved. They really want to know about this thing. You
Wow.
can't solve the problem with the old system.
Mhm.
It's not going to work because it incentivizes fraud. We can't trust you. It's a trustless system, something that is totally new. The system has to be born again. Basically,
Yep.
it has to be something that never existed
Mhm.
to fix this problem. So I think like for us to fix this problem, we it's just take a higher solution that never existed before,
Mhm.
Mm.
and we will be able to transcend. And that's what blockchain is. If they can understand this, if we can teach them this,
Mhm.
they'll grab it.
Mhm.
Grab it. And the government may not even see it coming, but the truth is, since it's built for the people will take advantage of it, and they'll be like light years ahead of the governments.
Wow. And do you feel like there's a difference in your perspective in age group? Like, would you say your parents would have that same perspective about this technology if they knew about it? Or is
Yeah,
this?
I feel uh, the people that want good in this continent are more than the people that want bad. Let me just put it that way. Majority of people, they want a change. If it's blockchain, they are gonna grab it. That's
Mm.
just facts. They're gonna grab it. They're gonna encourage the youths and to take advantage of it to build that new future that they were unable to build because they didn't have the blockchain. Think about it. If they understand what the blockchain is, they're going to encourage us to use it because
Yeah.
they couldn't fight the should I say devices then because they didn't have the tools. It's like yeah, they didn't have the tools to fight them. It's just but now they do have something that no one can take from them. They can build it from ground up and build a future that the government cannot destroy basically. So they would encourage, yes, they'll grab it. Any well-meaning person would grab it.
Amazing.
And that's just, and we have a lot of them. I want you to know that we have a lot of them.
Amazing. Amazing. So Joshua, please, like, tell us a bit more about your ambitions with the staking pool. Like, I mean, like, what's the short-term, medium, long-term goal for you? Like, let's see it. What's your vision?
Okay, so basically, there's an overlap actually with what I'm doing right now with POA and what I'm trying to accomplish with Life. I'm
Sorry,
working with
you're
a friend of mine.
you're breaking up. You're breaking up a bit. So could you just like repeat what you were saying? Just maybe a bit slower.
Okay, so I said just like POA, what I'm doing with POA, but I want to do this like a bit more locally, but I want to spearhead it with a lady, a girl, her name is April. She's going to be running this one so that we can get more women involved in this. So she's going to be holding meetups specifically for more ladies. And the same thing I'm with POA, but this time a lady is actually spearheading this just to get more women into it because it's life pool, women is like life. So we are coming from a woman. So, but more importantly, what I want to do with this one, which I'm not doing with life pool, with POA is I want it to be like a philanthropy, right? initiative kind of. So we want to support businesses that need like small loans,
Right.
let's say like $100, $200 kind of thing, just to boost, scale up their business. That's what I want to do. So we like I know a lot of people, a lot of young ladies that have like small businesses. I see them like they need to scale up. It might just be, the difference might just be $100 or $200 for them to get more resources. And we want to help those people with, our pool.
Beautiful.
So you said the staking pool is going to be up tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. And how can we get hold of your staking pool address so we can stake with you?
Okay, so the ticker is Zoe, ZOE, Zoe.
Okay. Real simple, huh? So I think all you have to do is just download the Dallas wallet.
Right.
Deposit your Cardano onto the Dallas wallet, and then search for Zoe. Z-O-E.
Yeah, ZOE. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Is there a place we'll be able to link to in the show notes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Once we post, we can link. Yeah.
Great.
Amazing.
Joshua, I love that model, and I do hope to just use it once you establish it, right? Because again, that's an example of something that would work anywhere, right? And I'm so excited to see it thrive. I'll definitely be staking there as soon as I can find Zoe in Daedalus. But man, like think about as this thing scales and as we go up to 1,000 saturated pools someday soon, you're going to be able to have geolocated pools that support their community, right? That support people nearby to just have a source of funding to do things they never thought they could do before.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Oh,
essentially, are you saying that people like Joshua who are staking now could eventually disintermediate like local banking, like local traditional banks? That's what we're talking about here. So talking about the future banker is staring at us right now. But this is a different type of banking in the sense like how would it differ to what we have now?
Can you say more about Tashoma, you're an expert on what we have now, and so what's wrong with me putting my money in a bank right now?
Okay, so if you put your money in a bank right now, how much interest can you make on it? How can you secure yourself against the amount of money that's being printed? How much money has been printed since March? How much have they inflated the money supply? How much gold can you buy today in comparison to the amount of gold you could buy maybe 10 years ago or even 20 years ago? I mean, the further you go back, you see just how much our fiat currencies have devalued themselves. So, I'm asking questions just to kind of push the conversation along.
I think that's huge. I think it can probably be a little bit of a challenging concept to understand if you haven't really, if you just kind of stick your money in a bank account and get it out, use your charge card when you want to pay for something. But I think that's huge because you're basically you're transferring power, economic power, from people who really don't have your interest at heart to having more economic power for yourself and in your communities. And because the banks don't loan to everyone. I mean, they can decide what rules that they want to follow in order to loan to folks. I mean, if I because basically when I'm putting my money into the bank, I'm kind of loaning the bank my money. They then take my money and then they turn around and then they loan it to you. And then they get, on the average, 18% on loans if it's credit cards, not quite as much if it's, mortgage loans and things like that. And we don't get to participate in that at all. And they're literally taking our money to do it with, and then they turn around and they give us, maybe 0.01% in our account. So yeah, I think it's like all of this that's going on, just my opinion, all of this that's going on with crypto and with blockchain. I think one of the things that's excited me most about it is that it is getting people to wake up to the financial system around them and how that financial system has played out over the many years. Because the bankers do not have our interest at heart. They have their own interest at heart, which is fine. But we're trying to uh, create a pool of resources for folks in the diaspora and folks on the continent so that we can start to build ourselves up. So it's difficult to do with traditional banks, although there are a lot of banks that are, especially with, what's happened in the last year, there's Black banks that are forming, there's, people that are taking more of an interest in helping, Black communities to, have access to capital. But fortunately we have blockchain here now, and we don't have to wait for them. We can start to build out these capital resources ourselves.
Right. And what does that actually look like? I mean, I want to get down to the nitty gritty. So, let's say Joshua gets 1,000 people to stake with him. Like at this point in time, like how much money is that going to be generating? And then how are there like any assurances for me to know that my staking is going towards something I actually believe in? Like it's not being abused, my money. I'm asking these questions because I mean I think I know the answer, but I still don't know the nitty gritty. So like maybe like Josh or James.
Well, currently we don't have like smart contracts, but I think in future we can have we can write a contract. If it doesn't go to the course which the stake will propose it should go to, then you can undelegate. It's as simple as that. It's the same for like liquid democracy, right?
Right.
Which is supposed to be like the best form of democracy, and I hope that we start to adopt. You can actually get delegate to someone, your vote to someone that you feel is more qualified than you to actually get something done, and have a contract. So if that person gets some kind of funding for a particular issue, let's say in Africa, you can trace this money and see where it goes. If it doesn't go to like the course in which it was funded for, you can undelegate immediately. That means they are going to be accountable point, like accountability. Smart contract does that. So that's the hope.
So yeah, sorry, go ahead.
We're trading deposits for delegation, right? And that's a big shift for me to wrap my mind around. I know that, right? When I deposit to a bank, I am deciding to be subject to that bank's authority, right? To decide what they're gonna do, and we all know, as Sidney was just alluding to this, right? There's different rules depending on where you are, who you are, how much you're depositing, etc. Right? And they can be somewhat arbitrary. Delegation is not, and smart contracts change this completely. It's not arbitrary. It's in the code first, and you can read the code first, and you can decide if you want to get behind that. But even more so, I mean, if I delegate my money to your pool, Joshua, are you holding my money now?
No, I'm not. Nope. It stays with you.
Right? And this is the part where old metaphors begin to break down.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm giving you my money, but I'm not giving you my money.
Yep. And this is the mad thing. It's like you can actually just be your own bank. There's no need to give your money away to anybody. You just keep it in your wallet. And because we're using blockchain, your wallet can be connected to Joshua's staking pool and just verify the system like that. And that's what's amazing. So, I mean, to all the people who, are scared that they're getting roped into some pyramid scheme or whatnot just because we're saying buy Cardano, that's not the case at all. And if you do have those suspicions, I beg you just look into what Cardano is. go read the academic papers. It's one of the most peer-reviewed blockchains we have currently. So, I mean, I kind of feel like, as I said, the reason I bring up these concerns is because some people can't be bothered to read those academic papers, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It is a technical leap, you know? So we have to try and explain this information as simply as possible. And, you know, I'm just eager to see more staking pools like Joshua's go up, and then somehow we can kind of like form some kind of consortium, you know what I mean? That's like publishing materials and education that's gonna make this stuff more palatable to the majority of people. Just talking about people in my community and people like Afro descendants, Jamaican people, like Nigerian people, people on the continent, you know, and people who don't necessarily have access to the luxuries that we have now, you know. And how can you do that? Because if we're talking about spreading blockchain in Africa, right, we want to make sure that the wealth is distributed equally, not just amongst the people who have the luxuries, right? That's not really solving the problem. So, yeah, it would be great to like explore more ideas and like more projects that may be out there ready on the continent that are doing stuff. You know? It's really interesting also when you look at like geopolitically what's happening in Ghana and how I think they're putting something in parliament to allow African American citizenship in Ghana currently. And all, I mean, you were talking about
well.
you were saying something about that earlier, Sidney.
Yeah, well, I know through the African Union is, I mean, it's a consortium of all of the countries on the continent. So these are the heads of states that have come together to create this organization. And so that organization is what's responsible. There's the different regions, and in each region, there are there's specific projects that are going on. Like for instance, in the Western region, those are the ECOWAS states. So they have their own, you know, currency that they're, you know, putting out there, and you know, and starting to basically you know, to pull their own capital back in their fold so that they can use that capital to develop, because up until this point they haven't had control over their own economy. So they're getting control of their own economy, and all that's going to do is open up the economy of the continent in and of itself. And once the economy had, like the shackles are off the economy on the continent, there's no doubt in my mind. I have no doubt that the brilliance and the creativity of the people on the continent is going to catch fire, and there's going to be a lot of building, you know, on the continent. Not to mention, you know, Africa is, I know I think it's Rwanda and maybe I can't remember what the other country is, but two of the fastest growing countries as far as the economy goes in the world. And it's got the youngest population of, you know, the countries in Africa have the youngest population than countries across the world. I think the average age is like 25 years old. So yeah, there's just a tremendous, and not only that, I mean, Europe and the United States and Britain and Germany, and I mean, go down the line, China, all of them have their eyes pointed at the continent. It still is the richest continent on the world as far as natural resources go. So, you know, the thing, what I'm getting from this is that people on the continent and people off the continent understand this. The point right now is to make sure that there's an infrastructure in place, so there's not this this second stage of colonization, this recolonization of, you know, the continent, where you have all of these people coming in, you know, kind of looking to take their part of the continent. If we can just make sure that there's an infrastructure in place, and that people have the ability to, you know, have a voice in their own government and have access to capital, yeah, I think it's just gonna take off. So.
Yeah, I just want to throw the idea we were speaking about earlier, the idea of like doing a susu or a rosca as a smart contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess, that's something that I remember even my grandparents used to do. They always used to get together in the community, put their money together and offer like small credit and like small
Oh
loans.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So
a big
imagine,
deal here.
oh, okay, well there you go. So imagine if you were to like get that mechanism, put it into a smart contract.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that's going to make it easy to adopt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess what you need to do is get merchants to start accepting stable coins, if you really
Mm-hmm.
want to see. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But one thing though is like, can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
About like the natural resources. Nigeria has crude oil, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot, and that's like our whole economy is hinged on crude oil. Like if
Mm-hmm.
something happens to oil, like Nigeria is finished. But the worst part is we stop paying attention. Government stop paying attention to other natural resources and other sectors like agriculture. Nigeria has like a lot of green. Agriculture is a big deal here as well. How do we tokenize this to benefit Nigerians?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thing, sell it, and this means poor. So how do
You cut
make
out a
them?
little bit, Joshua. Can you restate what you just said?
I said the problem now, all the resources, but the people, anything from the resources, they are not. Uh, we're being marginalized, basically. Like the
Mm-hmm.
government, it just gets refine the oil and promise to do something because there's no contract, there's no smart contracts.
Uh-huh.
They don't do anything, and then they just distribute the money amongst themselves, and we still remain like very poor. Like
Mm-hmm.
the states, the place that oil was first discovered in Nigeria is like the worst place you could ever, because they just suck out the oil and then leave it like that. They don't clean up, they don't even develop the place, because it's not about the people. Like democracy is decentralization, right? Inherently, because it's from ground up. But this democracy they have right now is it incentivizes fraud, because it allows them to do what they want to do without being accountable. So how the potential that blockchain holds, how do we utilize this 40 people? If we're able to tell them, hey, with these you can get these people and you can vote them out, like in a heartbeat, and put someone that's like a proxy to do something. If you can, you can let them know that they have a say, and they can start enjoying from their own, then that is, I think that's where the real change is. If they can understand that this thing can actually solve the problem, because you can't really go and fight a person because there's no record. But blockchain, inherently there's a record. You can actually trace these things. So I don't know. I'm not sure I'm using the right words to actually describe what I'm trying to say. But I know you guys are right? If you can.
Yep.
Yeah, totally get it.
Yeah, that's I think that's where my mind is at right now. I'm able to like let them know. I'm able to teach the right people to understand that, hey, with these we can track, we can know where money is going on, it's not, and then we can stop all these activities who are accountable, because everybody can see now.
Right, and
So
I think Joshua, to your point, it's a ground up revolution. It will never come from the top down. And if I was at the top, I wouldn't be giving up mine, and I think I'm a halfway decent person. It will never come from the top down, and I think the way that you're approaching it is the only way that it's going to happen. And, once these voting mechanisms, get in place, and we have a little bit more maturity on the blockchain, I mean, you can start to create leadership in your own local communities, and then that can reverberate out. And then at some point, the bigger governments will feel the pressure of like, what do we do now? You got hundreds of thousands of people using this app. they're voting on leadership in their own community. You know, they're managing their own economic resources. We don't even have a role anymore. So what do we do now? You know,
Right.
and it's going to clash. There's going to be a clash in the future between you know, what's happening with this decentralization and with central power, because they're not going to be like, yeah, let's do that. You know, they're not going to give it up. You know, so
Of course not.
yeah.
But the best part is the young people, they are ready to take advantage of whatever it takes to actually overturn what is currently happening right now. And that's the best part, because it's not like we can't, once we see a solution, we're going to take advantage of it. And that's why I'm teaching. Because you know, once they understand it, it's going to have this ripple effect. They are going to start talking about it, and they're going to use it. They're going to push for it. The government doesn't have any option. Once, like you said, like 100,000 people, and then 1 million, and then 2 million, they don't have any. They can't do anything anymore because it's no longer their government.
Right. Right. The people are now have taken back, and they have their voice.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that was a beautiful. What time we're 45 minutes in? This is supposed to be a 45-minute episode, right?
Seems appropriate. Hey, can I ask maybe a question for next time, especially after listening? I mean, Joshua, you gave us a speaking agenda, right? For just, there's so much to dig into. Who's the target audience for this podcast?
Africans.
And is it true believers in blockchain? Is it people who've never heard of it? Is there room for both? I mean, who are we talking to right now?
Basically, every African is a freedom fighter. So this is for Africans. Anybody that hears this message right now, it's going to resonate with them. It's for every African, both 5-year-olds. They need to know that there's a change coming. They need to know there's a revolution, and they don't have to live in, you know, the past failures. There's a new world for them that they can build and they can be a part of, and they can, you know, enjoy from. Those are the people. So it's all Africans.
Let's go. And so, yes, please. So what we need to do is set up the ability to take questions from folks, because I'm sure there's some questions about some of the details of what you were saying. How do I do this and this? So it's just so exciting, and I'm sure we're not going to be able to explain everything all at once.
Right.
So just block by block, giving people the details of how this all works. It's just so exciting.
It is really exciting.
Can I say one final thing? So, you know, having like local governments and then state government, tells you that there is actually like a decentralization of power, right? There has been a decentralization. It's about to distribute power to state and then local government. But the problem is there's never been blockchain. Why? You know, that means there've never been accountability. So decentralization is not like, it's not like there wasn't no decentralization. There has been decentralization, but because it incentivizes fraudulent activity, then, you know, no one is accountable, because naturally we'd have to trust people, and people have flaws. But right now there's blockchain, we don't have to trust anybody. That is the revolution.
Okay. Yo, I just wanna I'm just filled with inspiration right now, for real. I wanna ask, I wonder what kind of obstacles we might face in trying to distribute this technology. What kind of roadblocks are on the way? It'd be good to kind of like spot these ahead of time, and try to come up with solutions. So just a suggestion of what we can talk about in the next episode. And, guys, really happy to see you all again. And for our listeners, maybe we can get some topic suggestions from you guys at home listening and watching.
Definitely.
All right, cool.
Right.
We need to
So-
find a smoother way to wrap up this podcast.
So, but we can edit
Episodes.
this, right? We can
Yeah.
edit this, so we can continue talking, and we can just cut off. You know, we can
Yeah,
edit
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Yeah. So we're
can
good.
take
You know what
this
I mean?
off.
Yeah. And then I think we can same like with intro and conclusion. We can throw so we can bookend it. You know what I mean? And yeah, so that
Some
it
music.
wraps up somehow. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. Exactly. And then when the people hear the music coming in, they know it's time to wrap it up. You know what I mean? Time to go.
But
Yeah.
I mean, as a model for decentralization, starting sloppy. We're building.
Yeah, we're trying to build as we go along, right?
You
Yeah.
don't have to be. You don't have to be perfect the first time.
And
Yeah.
guys, I'm going to say this. I don't want to be the main host. Like, I don't want to be like the main. I feel like we should all be hosting it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like we're all different personalities here, different like backgrounds, everything. So if there's something you really want to talk about or get out, ask. I think
Yeah,
kind of take the lead.
like I mentioned earlier, I have my friends, they said they would listen to it and, give some, some advice on, how to maybe structure it so that it comes through clear. And I know they'll give us probably some, because they're not blockchain people. They're not technical people necessarily, so they would probably give us some feedback on how we're coming across to them, because they're very interested in blockchain. They're they're not as young as you guys are, neither am I. uh, but they it would be good to hear their perspective on the information that we're talking about, because my sense is that this was technical. You know what I mean? So it basically anything that we say that's got anything to do with blockchain, in my opinion, is technical. Whether it's stake pools, whether it's tokens, it don't matter. Anything that's got anything to do with the ecosystem, people are going to be like, they're gonna just like glaze over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put on Wolfram. Blockchain meets quantum physics.
right. Then you're like,
Just warm up with this, and then you'll be able to understand us just fine.
yeah, right. But yeah, if we can figure out how to like, because it's like for them, it's going to be really, really, really simple. And even when they interact with it, it's going to be really, really, really simple. The way that they're going to interact with the blockchain is the same way that they interact with that they use Instagram or Facebook.
Right.
They're not going to understand anything that's going under the hood. They're just going to know that, oh, all of a sudden I have my Instagram account, and I can actually like an account and give people value at the same time.
Listen, I hope it's going to be like that. But a part of me is just kind of worried it's not. Like, simply because we have this whole culture of like, not your keys, not your crypto.
Yeah.
It's like the apps that we're used to, like Instagram, Twitter, they are custodians like of our day of like we're used to hand over stuff, right? So that's why like solutions like Coinbase card and like 10x card and all of these like Nexo, for instance, these are great products. Like I offer them to my mom because I don't want my mom to like mess up sending her money to like the wrong address. It's very easy to fuck up in this game. So I'm looking at what's happening and I'm like, PayPal, MasterCard jumping onto crypto and offering it as a service directly to consumers. I mean, if I'm someone who's a bit intimidated by all the technical stuff, I'm gonna go with them,
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think that's what's going to happen. We're not them though, you know what I mean? So, and that gives us a kind of a whatever advantage, economic advantage or whatever. We're just, we're not them. So we're going to get a chance to get on the boat probably a little bit faster than everybody else. But yeah, but that's what it's about, right? It's like, and then once PayPal and all of these other folks have people in the ecosystem, then we can start, helping them understand about like, smart contracts and how you don't just have to use your card or whatever to like buy something at the store, that there's the value of a financial instrument that now exists with your account. And you can put that money, you can stake it, and if you stake it, you get 5%. You can put, you can put it out there so you can loan it. If you loan it, you get 8%. You know what I mean? And then, start to give people these financial tools and instruments so that they can do a little bit more than just stick it in their checking and savings account.
That's right.
Sure.
And never settling, we need the on-ramp, the gateway drug to get people in, right?
Yep.
But then, hey, if I have a friend of mine who's satisfied having PayPal hold their crypto, I'm not stopping there.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm so glad you're in the space now, but listen, it's better if you own your keys. All right.
Right.
Now that you own your keys, it's better if you're contributing and helping more people get involved.
Right.
Right. It's better if you understand how a smart contract works. There's always a next step.
And you guys are all doing that next step, though. That's the thing about it. To me, it's like we're asking these questions, but you guys are the ones that are bridging the gap. You know what I mean? It's like I appreciate Cardano and their engineers, and they built a great project, but that they built that project so that we can build on top of it. And everybody here has projects. I mean, James, you got a lot going on there, with like your community development and these, programs that happen in the community that, that are a resource for the community. And then Joshua, you got all of that stuff going on with stake pools and blood donation and property registry and what I mean? And to show me you got entertainment, you got finance, trading, all of that stuff. So we're going to do that. That's going to be us. So you get on like PayPal or any of these other people that on-ramp, once they on-ramp and they got cryptocurrency, then they're going to be like, oh, okay, I can go to James now, you know what I mean? And I can contribute to this community, or, I can holler at Joshua because, I want to, I'm ready to get a piece of land, or I want to support this whole idea of land rent, whatever it is, you know what I mean? And the same with you, Tashoma. People are going to come to you and be like, yeah, I got some crypto. What do I do with it now? And you can be like, oh, okay, well, you can, go here and invest it here or do this and that and the other thing. That's us right now in the space. That's the thing, man. It's like people in the Ethereum ecosystem right now, it's maturing. So that's why there's a lot of projects. And they just like, they saw the money in DeFi and they were like, DeFi, DeFi, because, they're like, oh my God, there's DeFi. I love it. Oh, because it wasn't growing as fast as it is now, right? I mean, DeFi is like, it's like taking off, but that's not what Ethereum has got so many other projects than DeFi, so I think that like that's us. We're kind of like the visionaries, I think, for the chain. And if I think we're going to be the ones that like bring people in and be like, and make it easy for them to use after they get some some PayPal token or some digital dollar or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think like everybody have like their own like expertise, and we have to show them that why they need to onboard to blockchain. I think with the podcast we're having, we can start like showcasing all the fronts that blockchain can actually make better, and then they can see a reason to like transition. So like for me or someone that's into music. If you can see like what blockchain can do to make you like have a better situation with then it can relate, you can resonate with that, and you're like, I want to be better at what I do in this music thing. And then so if we can treat it in like phases. Okay, in land registry, let's talk about land registry, and we'll send it out there. It's a very big problem in Africa. Everybody relate to it. You can talk about something that's like healthcare records, and we'll deal with that. And then people can see why they should join that because of blockchain. I will tell them, this whole magic is done by blockchain. Then we can deal with finance, right? Then we can deal with, all these sectors, all these basic sectors. And, that way, people can be able to like, relate to it better.
Right.
And then obviously if it's better than what the traditional or conventional, whatever they used to, they will onboard naturally because people want good change. It's our nature, that's just it.
I agree. I think it's coming. I think, we'll figure out how to make it easy for people to use, but it's not going anywhere. It's just evolution,
Yeah. That's right.
And we're pretty early Very, very early.
Yeah.
My highest level of success would be to watch somebody go from being a skeptic about this whole thing to coming up with their own idea that's better than anything I could think of.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And because once you do get it through, and we still got a lot of work to do in our ability to explain things. I'm not just talking about us here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about the whole
As an
space.
ecosystem, yeah.
We need to get better at as an ecosystem, saying what this thing even is, because it's some people are like, that's too good to be true, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The pyramid scheme, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But the moment you say, no, it's actually, here's all the functionality, people can't not have ideas about that stuff once they really understand what's possible.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a learning curve for the creators, the people that are going to build something on top of the technology and realize some kind of goal or vision. You can't there's just going to be a learning curve to understand what it means, what decentralization means, and then the power that you have through decentralization. But I agree with you, like the people that we can get involved, the more we can get involved, the better. I really see, I like what a lot of people are doing. I love what Ivan, I haven't, when he gets a Plutus course, I'm definitely going to jump in and hang out with him for a little while, because I know he's got some good content over there. But there's a lot of really good people that are doing a lot of really good stuff, but still, like, it's like you listen to any of these guys, and it's like, and we're in the ecosystem, it still feels like you're drinking from a fire hose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think we should figure out a way with our podcast to be able to just just get it down to its basics, finding some use cases where people can relate to it.
Joshua, Catalyst, speaking of fire hoses.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness.
There's so many ideas out there. There are so many.
I bet you they're awesome.
Smart, committed people, man. Oof.
Really smart people, man.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
They're doing it right.
Oh, it's fascinating. This is, yeah, I hope we can, I hope that like the entire transcript of these conversations is made public soon enough, just to say, look, here's this, because that's also the work that goes into it. When we talk about decentralization, it's similar to stake pools, right? It's you are distributing the networking power across the globe. We have this distributed group of people who are not all perfectly aligned, right? Like, you're just bringing in all these ideas and watching each person nudge everybody else in this direction and move towards some kind of consensus about what's possible. And that thing is going to happen over and over again, right? That has to be the model. That's the ground up piece.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's going to happen fast, though. I mean, I like 10 years from now, everything, it's going to be unrecognizable. I mean, it's going to be like so far ahead.
That's right.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy, and like developers, there's a lot of energy being poured into this space.
We're not even at the AOL stage yet.
No, right,
Not even at
right,
the AOL stage.
right. Well, we're at the what was it? Before AOL, basically,
CompuServe.
there's CompuServe, Prodigy, and then like the rooms that you go into. What was it?
Yeah, bulletin boards.
Bulletin boards. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
You had your own IRC protocol. You ever mess around with that?
Yep. Messed around with that a little bit. Yeah, exactly. That's like where we are,
Dang, I'm so young. I don't know what
Josh is like, what?
Yeah, bro, you're not missing anything.
You're much more interesting story.
Yeah, you're talking about going back to the rotary dial phone. You don't want to go there. We're done with that. Yeah. So what about like how we move forward? So now we have an overarching umbrella. We have a name for our podcast. James and I were talking today about like registering, domain names you know, Google accounts and all of that other kind of stuff. How do we want to, you know, what do we want to, what should be important from like an administrative point of view for us now moving forward, so we can get some more like, you know, bones around, or some, you know, meat on the bones of what it is that we're trying to do.
I think we need to put together a press pack, right?
Hmm.
Talk about like what we're about, you know, and have that ready for like any guests that we want to
I think that's a great
contact and get
idea.
onto the show. You know, we got 2 episodes now.
Yep.
Yeah. I think to like facilitate that, we need to, I think I sent in a workbook that will give us like clarity on what, so we all of us can actually understand, you know, based off of our contribution to that workbook, to understand like what we're centered. I mean, like the whole idea, what it is about, so we can build from there. But we need to have like a general idea of what this is about, and it has to, you know, tally.
Yep. Like a Trello workboard that we can all work from and just see exactly what it is we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, yeah, we can do that. I know I haven't been on Trello much, but yeah, I mean, if we can figure out, it's been busy for me over the past couple of weeks. It's probably gonna be a little busy a few weeks coming up, but I want to contribute. You know, I just want to be there.
I mean, for now, in terms of like things we need to purchase, like I guess we like could just divide the responsibilities amongst us equally for now, because I mean, I don't know how easy it's going to be to like put together any kind of like corporate agreement with all of us based in different countries.
Yeah, I'm sure that shouldn't. I mean, I'm guessing that like the general foundation of these agreements are international, you know, kind of in scope.
Okay.
I mean, they're like the basic laws are the basic laws kind of deal. I mean, each jurisdiction is going to have some, you know, some different kind of, you know, nuances, but I think in a general sense, we should be able to put together kind of an organizational like structure.
Okay.
And James and I were talking about this too. You know, like at some point, you know, we might want to play around with the idea of like a decentralized, you know, autonomous organization where the contract is managing everything.
And that's exactly what I was like thinking. This is just going to evolve into naturally.
Yeah.
Because I think if we're all going to learn how to like do Plutus and some smart
Right.
contracts and stuff like that, I mean, why go the traditional route? We could just draw up a contract between each other and
Yeah.
Yo, listen,
you know
I
what
mean, I'm so fully into that. I mean, I trust you guys as much as I can trust somebody who I've only met in this context, right? You know, listen, for better or for worse, right?
I trust you all to show up, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
You're here, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'd be okay with keeping a Google Doc for now, and then the day Goguen is released, let's live stream us learning how to turn it into a smart contract again.
That's education.
Like that.
That is it. Like,
If we claim we believe in this idea of decentralization, let's do it. Let's and then let's apologize later if we get in trouble for, you know,
Right.
making an international agreement on a smart contract.
like, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Oh, let's do it. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
just lead by example.
I agree with you. It's a great place to break some stuff. You know, figure it out. You know, and you know, I don't know. Maybe this is an idea too. So once we're delegating and we're getting rewards, there's got to be some type of mechanism in place that we can undelegate automatically, where you don't have to go in and physically undelegate. Or I don't even know. Well, the rewards are probably not going to be. They're not going to be going in your reward, the wallet that you're delegating with anyway. I don't know if that's the case or not, or if they're going to be like you can identify what wallet you want the rewards to go into. You know what I mean?
I'm sure you'd be able to like add on another smart contract, a smart contract attached to your wallet that you're staking from. You know, that could be like controlled by. I think they got what's that DAO app that they have on Ethereum currently? It's one of those ones. But yeah, you could have like a DAO that controls that staking wallet.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, we can take, you know, maybe 1 or 2% of our rewards, or whatever we agree on, and you know, wherever we are, where the rewards are coming through, and they're feeding a kind of a treasury mechanism for us that we can then vote on and decide what it is that we want to do.
And we could have like a portion of the staking pool rewards. If we decided to set up a staking pool under the name of AfroFinLab, we could actually allow our listeners to vote as to where the money gets distributed, you know, what projects we want to distribute it to. So this is
that's
all
the fun
things that
stuff.
have to happen, you know, as soon as Gogan launches.
And we get to be a part of it.
Technology, yep.
We get to be a part of all of it.
Guys, Joshua, I think Joshua logged out now, and I have to bounce.
You just fall off.
Okay. Hey, babe, you got it.
Hey, Sidney.
What's up? Oh yeah, word. Oh, word. Oh, cool. So is that so? Oh, so that's. So did that come with the course?
No, I bought this on Amazon.
Oh, you bought that on Amazon. I didn't even know that. Oh, wow. Yeah. That dude, that's some serious business right there. How much was that? I'm gonna check that out.
Look on Amazon, it's gonna have different pricing. Probably around $30.
Oh, that's not bad at all. Okay. Yeah. Because that's really the route that I want to go. I want to figure out how to tie that stuff together. Because I'm still on this. I was thinking about it.
Joshua's trying to get back in.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Sorry about that. There we go. But yeah, I wanna. That's like, because I want to do like the thing that hasn't been done yet. You know what I mean? The Twitter, you know, the Facebook. You know, I want to build something that's unique and you know that people want to use, to get excited to use. You know.
You guys haven't led me wrong yet on book recommendations, so I'll put that.
Hey, check it out. Check it out.
That's Tashoma over there with all those recommendations.
It's so sweet, but yeah, check it out. And hey, Joshua. So this is something I wanted you to look at. If you could just check out what's it called? Did you see what I posted on Slack the other day, all the links in the ideas page?
Hold on, let me check that.
There's open source ecology. I'm going to send it to you now. But this is my ambition. This is what I'd love to do in Africa, in West Africa.
Open source ecology.
Yeah.
What's this about?
So essentially, it's like this guy, Marcin Jabowski, or whatever his name is. He put together a civilization starter kit that if you have a fab lab, like a laboratory that allows you to like weld and cut metal and so on, he provides you like the basic equipment you need, all open source, to basically start your own like village, or like, but high-tech sustainable village, you know? So you could start with earth press and bricks and use that to like build homes with, and like the bricks that you're using are actually gonna like be cooler and be able to like hold more heat at nighttime, etc. And then from the brick you can move on to the tractor, and with the tractor you can rent that out to farmers and generate a revenue from it, or teach other people how to build these tractors and repair tractors as well, because that's like a huge problem that farmers face when they purchase tractors from like typical retailers. If their tractors break, that's like a huge cost to them, right? So this kind of like decentralizes the knowledge base that's required for all of these base industries we have, whether it be construction, agriculture. It kind of like it lowers the barrier to entry, essentially, by just giving people the tools and know-how to build these machines themselves, you know?
Yeah, cool. Pretty cool. That's cool. Wow.
You're looking at it now, yeah?
Yeah. I'm overwhelmed. Wow. Awesome.
Yeah, check it out. I think this all goes hand in hand with Ghana,
It's so aligned.
Dude, I've had a really long day, guys. I need to go and get ready. I'm still working on the logo as well and stuff. So yeah,
Okay.
we'll see
All right,
some.
good deal. So James, you're going to continue. Are you going to register? What do we need to register right now? What do we need? So yeah.
Hey, if I just go for it with Sixth Region Alliance, the number sixth PH Region Alliance .com.org and .io. Should I get all three?
I mean, I think that's on you right now. You know what I mean? If you, yeah, I mean, I guess.
Should we just start with the .org?
I think we should just start with. I think each of us should get one domain. You know what I mean? So I'll get the IO, you get the org, or whatnot. Someone gets the com. Just split it like that. Keep it decentralized. And then when it comes to the point where we're gonna put these things in a smart contract, we'll figure out a way we can just attach it to that smart contract.
Actually, I mean, co-ownership of domains. That's an interesting use case too. That might be that's kind of a straightforward smart contract, right? But that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, and I'll look into what it would be like to have an organization that we all could be a part of, because if that's the case, I mean, the books, I have no problem. We'll figure it out. Like if you purchase something, we can figure that out. That's easy. Yeah, we can keep track of that. But like in buying this stuff, as opposed to buying it as separate entities, maybe, if we do have, some kind of structure, we can buy it as, as that structure. Yeah, and then we can figure out like how to identify who's purchased what and all of that stuff.
Maybe we can set up a Wyoming company, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
Wyoming company.
yeah. I mean, I have one. They're very easy to set up. I have two of them actually. Yeah, they're very easy to set up. I just don't know. Yeah, I don't think there's any international implications in setting up a Wyoming corporation. I don't think it matters where you're from. You know what I mean?
All right, maybe maybe we should add all these suggestions to the Slack and then just investigate, and I should be able to do this for this week.
I'll call them tomorrow actually and find that out.
Guys, can we get? I don't know. Like, I guess maybe I'll set up a Trello and we can add these things to the Trello.
Okay, that's a good idea. Like tasks,
domains, this stuff.
Okay.
I thrive in structure and organization.
Awesome. Yeah, Trello works great for me. I'm happy to use that as Command Central.
Yes, I'm same here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, I'm outvoted, so by default.
Of course. No doubt. And I'm gonna get some people to connect with you. I'm gonna try to get some folks, like I say, Joshua, to connect with you from South Africa, just so that they can start plugging into what you're doing as far as those meetups go.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm serious about maybe adding Mercy to this group sooner than later. Just to have a female on board.
Oh yeah, please. Yeah.
Who's Mercy? I'm not sure that I might have missed some.
Did you know her before Catalyst, Joshua? I got the impression that you two had communicated before.
No, we hadn't met before that. But part of what she was doing, I think I know what she was trying to do. So. But we haven't had any, one-on-one.
But she's just, she's one of the people in that Catalyst program and has a really cool idea. I'll say it wrong if I don't try to read it. I don't have it up on the screen right now. But I think she'd be a great fit.
Cool.
Into AfroFinLab. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Cool.
All right, so plenty of to-dos. I will not buy those domains tonight. I'll wait till tomorrow, and again, if other people, I agree on keeping it decentralized. I just want you to know I don't mind picking them up and transferring them in whatever direction we need to.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, but my biggest concern is just being able to distribute these podcasts as soon as possible.
Yeah,
right? I think that's where I'm coming from.
I absolutely, I agree with you, and I think it might be easy for us to just get some structure, in it. So we're not, we don't get, a few weeks down, down and be like, okay, we need to go back and like redo this thing. So
Yeah.
I'll check. I mean, it's going to be on Wyoming's. Their LLCs are really they're inexpensive. So maybe we can look at that, and we can figure out like, how it gets paid for and everything. And, we can figure all of that out, but maybe if we can get something going, at least we can, buy all of our stuff underneath that umbrella and start to take the whatever tax advantages that we're going to get from having the structure.
Cool. All right. I'll wait for your lead on that.
Okay. I'll probably investigate it tonight actually, and just, and send it over.
Thanks, Sidney. That's awesome.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
All right. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm not gonna cut it or anything, and I'm gonna just post it. Okay.
Play it right till the end, just like that. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna just. And if you want to cut it, I mean, you let me know. I mean, how we want to do as far as posting it or whatever.
I'll
send it to me. I'd like to give it a go. Try and edit it.
Okay.
Yo, Tashoma, remember the part where I was supposed to like define stake pool? Because you guys didn't get the chance to do it, so you can
cut that out. Right. That doesn't belong.
Thank you.